Okay, today or this evening or whatever time of day it is while you're watching this, we are dividing with decimals in the divisor and still unit 2. I'm going to go over the basics of division here. I know a lot of my students still have difficulty with the steps in division. So the first step we have is divide. So I'm going to divide 1400 or 1400 by 32. 32 will not go into the 1, 32 will not go into 14, 32 will go into 140 4 times. The next step is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply 4 by 32, and I get 128. Now I'm going to subtract. So I need to borrow. 10 minus 8 is 2, 3 minus 2 is 1, and now I'm going to compare. I'm going to compare 12 is less than 32, so then I can go to my next step, which is bringing down the 0. Bring down my 0. And then we start all over again. We're going to divide 120 by 32. We get 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. And then we're going to subtract. That's 4, and that's 2. I still have a remainder, so I'm going to have to add a decimal here, extend this out, and add a 0. I'm going to take my decimal straight up on the answer line here, on the quotient line, and I'm going to bring down my 0. 32 will go into 240 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1, 21, 22. 10 minus 4 is 6. 3 minus 2 is 1. I need to add another 0. I'm going to bring down. 32 will go into 160 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 15, 16. And we are finished. Once again, labeling the parts here. This right here is our divisor. This is our dividend. And our answer is called the quotient. Okay, this is where we get into multiplying the divisor that has decimals. I said decimals in the classroom too, so it's okay. So we're going to multiply with decimals, but the decimals are going to be in the divisor this time. So whenever we have decimals in the divisor, like we do here, right here, we have to make our divisor a whole number. And by doing so, we have to multiply it by a power of 10. So you think about what power of 10 only has 1 0, and so that would be 10. And so essentially, whenever you multiply it by a power of 10, you're just moving the decimal. So if we multiplied this by 10, it would move the decimal over here. But what we do to the divisor, we have to do to the dividend as well. And so since we move the decimal one place here, we will move it one place here. And essentially, we multiplied this by 10, and we multiplied the dividend by 10. But that's just the y. We don't have to necessarily physically do 1.8 times 10 and 12.42 times 10. I'm going to bring the decimal up into my answer here. And so now I have 18 as my divisor, and then I have 124 and 2/10 as my dividend. So I'm going to go ahead and now I'm going to continue dividing as normal. So 18 will not go into 1, 18 will not go into 12, 18 will go into 124, 6 times 8 is 48, and 6, that's 10, and now I'm going to subtract, and 14 minus 8 is 6, 1 minus 0 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Now I'm going to bring down, that's a 2. 18 will go into 162 9 times. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 7 is 16. So our answer to 124 and 2/10 divided by 18 is 6 and 9/10. Let's do another one. So we have a decimal in our divisor. I'm going to move it one place to the right or multiply it by 10. We're going to multiply the dividend by 10. Move our decimal over here. So now we have 1,953 divided by 93. So we're going to divide. 93 won't go into 1. 93 will not go into 19. 93 will go into 195 2 times. 6 and 18 and subtract. 15 minus 6 is 9. We're going to bring down our 3. And 93 will go into 93 one time. Multiply. Subtract 0. Okay, here's a tricky one. So essentially here I would have to multiply my divisor by 100, and our decimal is right here. If I can get it to right, there we go. And since I moved my decimal 2 places, I'm still going to have to move my decimal 2 places. And since there were not any digits here, I'm going to have to add them myself, and then we'll add zeros. So 56 will not go into 1. 56 will not go into 11. 56 will go into 112 2 times. And now we're multiplying, so 6 times 2 is 12, carry the 1. 5 times 2 is 10, add 1, that's 11. Then we subtract, which is 0, and we compare. 0 is less than 56, but then we need to still bring down our zeros. 56 will go into 0, 0 times. 0 times 56 is 0. Subtract, still bring down our 0. 56 will go into 0, 0 times. 0 times 56 is 0. Subtract, and that is our answer. So 11,200 divided by 56 is 200. So remember, that you need, I can't even spell. I'm a math teacher. I can't even erase either. So you need to change divisor to a whole number and then divide as always. Thank you for watching.